It was a sunny Saturday afternoon, the kind of day that made the whole neighborhood feel like it had exhaled. Lawn mowers buzzed in the distance, kids played tag in neatly trimmed yards, and sprinklers created tiny rainbows on the sidewalk. In the heart of the local park, 16-year-old Malik Thompson sat alone on a wooden bench near the basketball courts, quietly sketching in his notebook. Malik wasn't causing any trouble. He wore a black hoodie with his school logo on it, grey joggers and clean sneakers. A soda sat beside him as he worked on a drawing of the skyline beyond the trees. He was waiting for his friend Jamal, who was finishing up a tutoring session nearby. This was Malik's routine. Headphones in, sketchbook out, staying in his own peaceful world. A few yards away, a middle-aged white woman walked her fluffy golden retriever across the grass. She had perfectly styled hair, oversized sunglasses, and a brisk, judgmental air. She saw Malik sitting alone, glanced once, then again, her lips tightening. She slowed down, tugged on the leash as if shielding her dog, and took out her phone. With quick glances over her shoulder, she whispered into the receiver, "Yes, I'd like to report something suspicious. There's a young black male sitting on a bench near the park entrance. I don't know what he's doing. He's wearing dark clothes, could be waiting for someone or watching people." She paused as she turned away, lowering her voice. "Yes, he's just sitting there, but it's making people uncomfortable. Just send someone to check it out." Malik looked up just in time to catch her staring. Their eyes met. He saw the phone in her hand, the way she looked at him, not curious, not cautious, but accusing. His stomach tightened. He put his pencil down. Should he move? Would that make it worse? His mom had always told him, stay calm, stay polite, don't give them a reason. 15 minutes later, a black and white squad car pulled up slowly along the park curb. 2 officers stepped out, one resting his hand casually near his belt. "Hey there," the taller officer said, his tone sharp but controlled. "Mind standing up for a second?" Malik hesitated. "Why?" he asked quietly. "I'm just waiting for someone. I didn't do anything." The second officer circled around the bench. "Got a call about someone loitering. You match the description." Malik's voice cracked slightly as he replied, "I was just sitting here drawing. I wasn't bothering anyone." The officers didn't look convinced. They asked for ID. Malik handed it over with trembling hands. The woman who had made the call was now standing a few feet away, arms folded smugly, lips pursed as if she expected a thank you for being so vigilant. She spoke just loud enough to be heard. "I knew something was off. You can always tell when they don't belong." Malik lowered his eyes. His heart raced. People walking by began to slow, watching from a distance. A child nearby tugged on his mother's arm and whispered, "Mom, why are the police talking?" To him, one of the officers stepped aside to speak into his radio. "Yeah, we've got the subject. Running ID now." "Wait, what? Hold on." The radio crackled again. His expression changed. He turned toward his partner, eyes wide. "She's on her way," he muttered. "Says she's the boy's mother and she's FBI." Both officers went still. The air shifted. Within minutes, a sleek black SUV turned the corner and rolled to a stop in front of the park. The driver's door swung open. A tall black woman stepped out, heels clicking against the pavement, a badge gleaming at her waist, her expression unreadable. She walked straight toward the officers, her eyes locked on her son. Malik looked up, and for the first time since the encounter began, relief flooded his face. The woman stopped between the officers and her son. "My name is Dana Thompson, Special Agent in Charge, Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is my son." The officer's posture shifted instantly. The one who had been asking Malik questions straightened up as if he'd just remembered how to breathe. "Mom, Agent Thompson, we weren't aware," he stammered, stepping back to give her space. Dana Thompson didn't respond right away. She turned her attention to Malik, kneeling slightly so she was eye level with her son. "Are you hurt?" she asked, her voice soft but steady. Malik shook his head, his eyes brimming but refusing to fall. "No, Mom, just embarrassed." She nodded once, stood up and faced the officers again. Her tone shifted, calm but ice-edged. "You received a call from this woman." She motioned to the bystander, who suddenly looked unsure of herself. "And without cause, without suspicion of a crime, you approached and questioned a minor. You asked him to stand, demanded ID, and surrounded him like a suspect." One officer began to protest. "We were just following up." "Following up," she repeated, "on a young black boy sitting on a bench drawing in a sketchbook in broad daylight." The woman with the dog, watching all of this unfold, stepped forward. "Look, I was just trying to protect the neighborhood. He looked out of place. I didn't know he was your son." Dana slowly turned toward her. "So, if he wasn't my son, then what? He should have been searched, removed, arrested, for sitting," the woman faltered. "I didn't mean any harm. I just thought—" "You didn't think," Dana interrupted. "You reacted, based on his skin, his hoodie, and your own bias. You called armed officers into a peaceful park over nothing. That's how tragedies start." People had begun to gather, a few filming with their phones, others simply watching in silence. The mood had turned not angry, but electric. Something important was happening. Dana didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Her presence alone, the precision of her words, the authority behind her badge, cut deeper than any shouting match ever could. She faced the officers one last time. "I expect a formal report of this incident to be filed, and I'll be following up with your precinct supervisor personally. Make no mistake, this isn't over." With that, she put her arm around Malik's shoulder. "Let's go." As they turned to leave, Malik glanced back once. The woman stood stiffly, her dog pacing nervously at her feet. The officers remained frozen, unsure whether to apologize or disappear. People in the crowd began to murmur, "That was her son. She's FBI?" She handled that with grace. Malik and his mother walked side by side, down the sidewalk and toward the SUV. His fingers still clutched the sketchbook. Her hand rested firmly on his back. He looked up at her. "Thanks, Mom." Dana smiled gently, though her eyes still burned. "You never owe anyone an apology for simply existing. They just learned that the hard way." And as they drove away, Malik finally exhaled. Not because the situation was over, but because now the truth had been seen.